Welcome back to Joe Chambers Questions Everything. I'm in front of Silbury Hill, which is in the magical county of Wiltshire, famous for Stonehenge, Avebury and also crop circles. I'm here to explore the phenomena of crop circles and I picked a fantastic day. Let's begin.
Yeah. Fair dinkum, y'all. This is dedicated to Wiltshire and Paradise 1. Shout outs to Mr. Monk and Stay Nice. Check it out, yeah.
Love is the antidote, and it's dope. No matter what the question, it's the answer. So love is the antivirus when it dances inside us. So let it flow.
I'd love to say that this was my husky coming towards me, but it was just the friendliest husky who I think was also enjoying the lovely weather around Silbury Hill. And I'm not sure if this is some form of ritual for good luck to rub your bottom all the way down the hill, or maybe it was just their technique for getting down.
It used to be like a step pyramid, a bit like the Merlin.
Now it's hard to say that Silbury Hill is a pyramid, so it's referred to as a mound, but it was made deliberately. However, it's unclear exactly as to why. And when it was originally made, it would have been white, which would have been quite impressive to have seen. It's about 2,400 years old, and it's not the only mound in Wiltshire. I wasn't aware that there was another mound just down the road called Merlin's Mound. And apparently the name for Marlborough, which is a nearby town, is actually a derivative of the word Merlin. So perhaps this area has some significance to that story of ancient magic, and there's definitely a lot of magic in Wiltshire. Climbing Silbury Hill, beautiful views from up here, almost at the top. Not only is Wiltshire incredibly beautiful, but it's home to some famous places such as Stonehenge and also Avebury, which is the largest stone circle in the world. And today my mission was to explore the mysterious phenomena of crop circles, which are so prominent in Wiltshire.
First got into crop circles by reading the book by Colin Andrews, and that would have been about 1990, when it was the topic was new and it was very everyone was talking about it. It was a very hot topic, and yeah, I found it intriguing that all these crop circles were appearing, what it seems, overnight, getting between 20 and 40 per night, particularly in this area in Wiltshire, and all these scientists were coming in looking at the subject, and no one seemed to have any answers. They ruled out the possibility of hoax. It was thought at as the circles were being made by some kind of wind vortex, or but it's a real mystery, and even today, no one really knows the answer. It wasn't until 1990, everyone remembers Doug and Dave coming along, saying that they were responsible for all the circles. But to believe for one moment that these two old guys were responsible for all the crop circles in Hampshire and Wiltshire, coming out of the pub with a plank of wood and a bit of rope and a design on a piece of paper and making these elaborate designs, I think is absurd. balls of light. So yeah, in this whole area, the locals, tourists often see these bright white, and we would describe them as orbs. We don't know what they are, but they are seen. They seem to be seen frequently near sacred sites like West Kennet Long Barrow, here at Silbury Hill. Often seen at in crop circles, either skirting around the crop circle, sometimes coming out of the crop circle, or going into the crop circle. Sizes, they seem to be between the size of a football and a beach ball. But what these things are, no one knows. They've had many names over the years. People call them Will o' the Wisp, or fairy lights, or but yeah, no one knows what they are or what they're about. So yeah, the numbers have dropped dramatically. So in this year, I would say we've had perhaps about 8 crop circles, probably maximum. Last year, maybe 10. So about last, I'll say in the last 6 years or so, numbers have dropped even further. So we've been seeing less than 15 per summer. But when we go back to the mid 80s, from between sort of 1983 throughout all through the 1990s, there would be between 20 and 50 per night in Wiltshire and Hampshire, particularly Wiltshire. It seems over the years that the designs have had different themes. So in the early days, they were just circles, sometimes circles with what we call grape shot, where you get a circle and then a smaller circle nearby, or lots of small circles nearby. Then it evolved to a circle, then a single ring around it, and then you'd get like a Celtic cross. You get a circle and then 4 satellite circles. That went on for many years, but it seemed to develop, and it developed actually quite quickly. So it seems that as the subject got more and more attention from the public, particularly that would have been 1989, 1990, the numbers seemed to increase even more. The more the public were interested in the subject, the higher the numbers became, and the more evolved the designs became. So then you'd end up with circles with avenues in between, key designs coming off the side, triangular shapes, some very sophisticated designs. Fractals was a theme. Again, particularly around here at Silbury Hill, some incredible fractal crop circles. Wildlife, hummingbirds, bumblebees, beetles, serpents, snakes, spiders.
Wiltshire is a beautiful place, but there is something about it that has drawn people throughout history to build mounds, stone circles, and even for crop circles to appear. Perhaps it's magnetic ley lines. According to the ley lines theory, the points where they cross are areas of particularly high electromagnetic activity, and Wiltshire is one of those places. And another place is Giza in Egypt, where the pyramids are. One of the things that blew my mind most about crop circles is when I was told that they are designed and they are created on these uneven surfaces. So actually when you're at ground level, what would appear a circle from the sky would actually be more of an oval on the ground. Sort of like when you see sponsors at the end of football pitches, when you're in the stadiums, they're very strangely shaped compared to what you'd see on your TV, which means However these crop circles are appearing, the people making them, the entities making them, are able to appreciate how they would look from above, and they're able to design in spite of the uneven ground on which they are placing them, which I think is just incredible. Now what you're looking at here is called West Kennet Long Barrow.
I think it was a packet. Sorry, thank you.
How do they get planning permission for this?
I don't think it matters. Hey, they got me.
Yeah, This is over 5,000 years old, and excavations revealed the remains of at least 46 people, along with pottery and tools. So this is called West Kennet Long Barrow, and this was where the ancient people from around this area would bury their dead, or bury the significant leaders of this area. And it's amazing. Ancient tomb. Hey. Wiltshire is also famous for its white horses, which are cut into the chalk hillsides, with the most iconic one being the Uvington White Horse, which dates to over 3,000 years old. And now for the Crop Circle Museum at Honey Street.
So actually people can make lovely, quite amazing crop circles, but that doesn't explain the ones that appear overnight and all those others, and all the others you will see upstairs. So the time frame is really a crucial thing. All the ones that appear during daytime, like the famous one that Julia set opposite Stonehenge on a Sunday afternoon. So I fail to understand those ones, if they are claimed by people.
Yeah.
So yeah, over there.
That's an incredible one, isn't it?
It is.
I think you
yes.
said this was done when the weather was wet overnight.
Yeah, yeah. Did you go in it?
My brother did. No, I didn't go in it. No, I was working, but my brother went in it and my dad went in
Yeah.
it. And he said it was perfect. No, there's nothing broken.
No. Now Tim Carson was the very first to enter.
Right.
Although it was on James Reed's land, but
Yeah.
Tim Carson, and he
first.
couldn't believe it because it was all insulating
And yes.
and it just didn't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Charles Mallet says, you couldn't see the other side of it.
No,
As I
no.
said, the ground's not level. Raining that night.
Yeah.
People were camping on the hill apparently that night.
Yes.
Didn't see
Yeah.
anything.
And then 2 days later, those.
Yeah.
Imagine 2 days later, so
Yeah.
try to explain that one.
Okay. So this is a face.
Yes. It's very well explained in the book you just bought,
Yeah.
the Chilbolton event. Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Can achieve, which is crude. And then we've got Doug and Dave. So this is 1991. The men who con the world. Because up until this, point, the public were very, very interested in what was going on. We were getting 20, 30, 40, 50 crop circles per summer. The media were having a frenzy. The public were very interested, and it would appear that someone decided, right, enough's enough here. We cannot have this continue. We need this to finish. And then Doug and Dave come out of the woodwork, as it were, and then they claim they're responsible for all the crop circles. and then most of the public then accepted that as a fact, and then the interest in the subject declined quite rapidly, because this was the explained method behind the crop circles, were two odd guys coming out of the pub and practicing their artwork in the fields around Wiltshire and Hampshire. Things were seen. 1678, the Mowing Devil. Yeah, if you zoom in, there's more to it than meets the eye. This is the basket weave. So it's where it's laying just like a basket on top of each other. And to give you an idea on scale, this is going to be about 25 metres, maybe even 30 metres. First time ever that pi 3.14 has been demonstrated in a graphic. So the way it works is starting from the centre, you've got one arc, a bit like a pizza. So you've got one arc, takes 3 pieces, giving you your 3. Then we've got the dot, and then it comes out one step, giving you a one step out. So 3.1, coming out another step, comes out to the 4. Takes 4 slices, out again 5, and then going all the way around you come up with pi, and at the end of the pi we've got a ellipsis, so obviously showing that it's a infinite number, probably about half an hour from here. What's good about this one is a great demonstration of broken wheat. So if you're going to make a circle, how you would make a circle without putting a center point to make your circle, we would consider impossible. But this is all standing crop. So here we've got about 25-30 meters of standing crop, no damage to the center, and yet a perfect circle on uneven ground. And the owls, that's 2009, 400 feet. Again, we've got a good example here of different textures, basket weave around the edge. If you look at each circular spiral in the centre and a spiral within that, different directions where it's all swept.
Did they ask who did it?
Well, no one saw anything.
How would you make it interlock like that? It's incredible.
We would consider it to be impossible to do that.
Yeah.
There is a story, again, this is all on YouTube, of a crop circle maker who said that he was with the team making this. They came up with a design, decided to make it as just a pattern. And the story goes, because they finished it so quicker than they thought, this other chap had nothing to do, and he decided to make this with the spare available time. So his story is that he decided to make this basket weave effect while the other guys made the circles, and that he was responsible for all the basket weave. Again, made in 4.5 hours of darkness. That was again cut out day one. Place. That's owned by the government. So there's a sign, there's a fence all around there. You can't get anywhere near the place. It's high security. Comes up on the gate. It says trespassers keep out. Warning signs, dogs all that going on here, and yet something was able to make 2 crop circles. You've got the face. Now this is made a bit like a newspaper. So when you zoom in, or when you zoom out, you see the image. Each circle would be about, they vary in size, but between ½ metre and 1 metre.
Whose face is it?
That's the question. Is it a picture of a human? Is it a picture of someone that's sending the message?
And what are these supposed to be?
That is it seems to be a reply. So that's what came in, was discovered in this field. So we sent, if you video that, so the picture on the left, we sent that into space in, what year was that? 1970 something. Can't remember at the moment. 74. So 1974, Carl Sagan and some other people came up with that particular graphic showing the bottom is our technology for sending the message, that M pattern.
Yeah.
Then we're showing what we are, our positioning from between in the solar system in relation to the sun, our DNA information, our population. So that's all demonstrated in that left-hand graphic. And then in 2000 and something, that's the reply. And that shows.
So this one here is us.
That's us. Yeah, 1974. This is the reply. So this
circle.
That's the crop circle. Yeah.
Wow.
That's 2001.
Which is the same year as that big spiral with all the circles.
Yeah. So some huge ones came that year.
It's amazing that it is right on the doorstep of some government. And
yeah.
Also, it's not a circle. These ones aren't circles. These are quite distinct and different.
Yeah. So that one and a few others are made in a slightly different way. And this one, which came in, this came third. So first of all, you have this one night, then this night 2, and then night 3 was this one. And this appears to be this. If you look at this and this.
So these were all in the field at the same time?
I think within a few nights of each other, yeah.
Wow. And what do you think this is then? What part of the message is this meant to be?
This is this.
And what was the bottom part of the human message?
This is the technology we're using to send our message. So we're using a satellite dish.
And so do you think this is their version of the technology?
Yeah,
using
that's what the researchers are saying, and that kind of fits. So the layout is the same. Us and them are equipment for transmitting the message, and what they were using, which they've also put, as it happens, in the crop circle. So extremely elaborate to say that it's made by people, and what we're going to do, we're going to make a face, then we're going to do this reply from 1974. We're going to go back to 1974, interpret that message, come up with this, and then we're also going to put a crop circle showing some advanced equipment used to transmit the message. And we're going to put it also next to a satellite dish.
And not get caught, not get stopped.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah. This is obviously security 24/7.
Yeah.
Again, I've been there. You can't get in the place. It's all fenced off. You got two fields there. And someone came up with the idea of, right, what would happen if we superimpose the two together? What if some great minds has said, right, let's overlap those two and put them on top of each other. What do we get? And then what they got was this. This is showing upside down view, and then superimpose the two together.
No, it's Jesus.
I mean, I think that is a bit of a stretch of the imagination.
This is Jesus here, right?
Yeah, it would appear to be, yeah. But elaborate, you've got to say, yeah, whatever was behind that. I mean, what kind of brain comes up with this idea?
First, Jesus, his face is found in Wiltshire.
What an elaborate thing to come up with, though, isn't it? If you said, right, I'm going to hoax this, what kind of crazy mind comes up with that idea?
Well, you need to be able to computer generate it beforehand to see how they would mesh up. And then you'd need to have the ability to pull it off in two different fields.
On a motorway.
On a motorway without getting spotted.
Yeah, at night.
And be so precise that it does work and it doesn't end up looking like something else.
Yeah, it's got to overmatch precisely.
Wow. I did not expect to see Jesus' face in a crop circle.
Okay, I'll have to find the precise date, but in the early 1980s, the television channel, I think it was ITV, was interrupted by a voice comes in. So there's a guy reading the news, and this kind of electronic voice comes in, and the newsreader's voice fades out. And this is all recorded, and you can see it on YouTube. And this voice is saying that he is an alien from a particular planet, and he says that we've been watching you, planet Earth, for many years, and watching your development, and you would have seen us as lights in the sky. And it goes on, but gives us gives a warning about weapons of mass destruction, and we need to sort ourselves out, in so many words. And it's a clear warning that we are in serious trouble. And then the message fades out, and then the newsreader, his voice comes back in. So this is all analog, obviously this is pre-digital, and the TV area, that was broadcasting to this particular area, was very near Chilbolton in Winchester, and so several crop circles were seen around that particular area. Yes, this is showing something physical that we really can't explain. So a lot of research has been done into this over the last 30 odd years. Control plants then, so like perfectly normal. And then in a crop circle, they have been bent over. These are quite brittle as well. When the plant is mature, so late July, early August, the plant becomes very brittle, and basically in effect it's dead. And they often find where the node is, so this bit here, an expulsion cavity. So the theory is that whatever energy is coming through the plant to make it soft and allowing it to fall, the energy goes up through the stalk, a bit like steam, extremely hot, and then that steam has to escape from somewhere. So if the plant is young, then you get the stretched nodes. if the plant is old and brittle, then the steam is blown through a hole here. That's where it escapes. And here you can see, so in young plants, here the plant is bent over, almost at 90 degrees, something that you physically cannot do without breaking it. Yeah, and then they've obviously tried growing the seeds from a crop circle, and they seem to grow more efficiently from the crop circle.
So after seeing that, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below.
A fraction, it just snaps. This is below the Milk Hill White Horse. You can see this video on YouTube as well. In fact, it might be here somewhere. But this guy was filming a crop circle from Milk Hill. Then he sees this white object. Now he films this, and this white object starts flying away very, very gently, and then it flies over this tractor. This tractor on the film that you can see, he stops his tractor. So the guy in the tractor can obviously see this thing going over his head. He stops. He was interviewed by Colin Andrews, and he said that he saw this thing the size of a beach ball, bright white object, go over his tractor.
And didn't you say there was the field called Golden Ball? Is this at the Golden Ball field?
That's more or less opposite Golden Ball Hill. So Golden Ball Hill would be over about here.
Yeah. And Golden Ball, it was the name from a long time ago.
I'm not sure how many years it's been called that, but I would say it's been called that for hundreds of years. And it's just a theory that it's called that because people were seeing golden balls.
Not to be confused with David Beckham.
Exactly. Till 1990, Steve Alexander, he's just filming some crop circles below. Then he sees this. And he does question. He says, is it a bird? Well, it's clearly not a bird. It seems to be blinking. It's bright. It's moving in a purposeful manner. It was like flying over the crop. Here you can see it in relation to the crop circle that's nearby. It was flying in between the tram lines. And then it starts to fly away very gently, and you'll see it fly over the tractor.
I want to know what you think. Tell me in the comments below. Where do you think crop circles come from?
At all. You heard of the Warminster thing? So that's something that happened in the 60s. Again, this is all on YouTube. In fact, they're talking about the anniversary of the Warminster thing this weekend. So back in the 60s, the people of Warminster, they were all reporting lights in the sky, strange craft, strange sounds, and particularly in this area, so Clay Hill, Cradle Hill, Star Hill, and they were getting extremely alarmed about it. So again, this made international news, and ever since then, that there have been some amazing crop circles in the fields around Warminster. 6. Stonehenge. So, as a pilot, he was doing flights over Stonehenge. He flew over Stonehenge, and then less than 30 minutes later, he had to fly back to, I think it was Thruxton, to refuel. Picked up another passenger, flew back over Stonehenge, and then within that 30-minute period, this huge crop circle appeared, and he swears that was not there 30 minutes earlier, because he knows that there's no way he could have missed that.
And Led Zeppelin famously had a crop circle formation in one of their album covers. And just look at this. This is what Wiltshire used to be like in its heyday in the 80s and 90s, before the Doug and Dave story came and made everyone think that crop circles were just a massive hoax.
So I bombed down to Etchelhampton from the sanctuary, and then as I get closer I can see the helicopter that's hanging in the sky above Etchelhampton Hill, above the crop there. Parked in the track, got out of the car, and it was over my head. It was like it was like looking at it was looking at me, looking down on me, and then then it started again flying around the field, and then I went up the track, and then this dog walker, she started coming down the hill on the right hand side, coming down that hill with her dog, really shaken. And she said, "Did you see that Apache helicopter?" And I said, "Yeah, I've been looking at it for some time." She said, "I was just sitting down with my dog, it was relaxing under a tree along that track, and it went over my head." And she said, "It was as if the helicopter didn't want me there. It was trying to frighten me. It was trying to intimidate me and get me out." That's how she found it. I said, "That's interesting." I said, "Well, it is quite a peculiar area that we're in here." And she said, "I said, do you realise that there's often crop circles around here?" And she said, "No, I didn't know that." I said, "Well, last year there was a crop circle in that field," and she had no idea about that, which is quite interesting, really. So she was like totally honest, totally innocent. She said, "Look, I'm here. I'm just walking my dog, and why have I got this black helicopter over my head, scaring her?" She was like shaking, so shaken that she was hurrying back to the car to get going. But so weird.
I remember last year you had the same experience.
The same location, and I've seen it many times. This year, I keep telling that story of last year because that was quite scary at the time, and then I've forgotten how scary it is. You probably witnessed it. But when they're so over your head, scaring the public like that, how can they justify that? People say they're training. Salisbury Plain is massive, isn't it? It's such a vast place. Why do they need Tim Carson's land to? So I don't buy the training thing.
No.
So that's one reason, and then the other reason they say is they're just filming the crop circle. The pilots are just curious. Maybe you could say at a stretch, maybe, but the cost of running these things to keep this thing in the sky. And why was it flying around? So I took pictures of screenshots of my on my phone. It's flying around Etchelhampton for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, going round and round and round that field. Going round and round. Then it went back to Middle Wallop. And then that evening I went back home. That evening I thought, I'll look at my phone again and just see if that plane has taken off from where it landed at Middle Wallop. And it had. And it just happens it was travelling along to Etchelhampton again. Right? And it goes back to the same field at 10:30 at night, does the same course, flying around and around and around. And then it goes around all Cannings and around that bit, and then back home.
No, it's really strange.
And then the following morning, I went back to Etchelhampton just to see if there's anything there. Thought maybe, fingers crossed. Nothing, and nothing since. But yeah, I just get the impression that they can see something that I can't. There's something
Yeah,
going
I
on.
think so too.
They can see something with their equipment
Yeah.
that we can't see. Yeah, but very weird.
Well, I think there's quite some footage about those helicopters that are followed by the balls of light.
Yes,
So
yeah, that DVD
that's
you've sold out of now, but that DVD
Is
showing the
very
777.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew Buckley, isn't it?
Yeah.
I never met him. You met him? I'm sure you've met
Yes,
him.
I did. But also Jeanette Ossebaard
Yeah.
also had experienced a huge orange ball of light next to this helicopter.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what is it? I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. But yeah, it's in the equation anyway, in the mystery,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I was definitely blown away by everything that I'd seen in the Crop Circle Museum, and I was particularly astonished by the fact that, having grown up in Wiltshire, I'd heard and seen so little about crop circles. I feel like it's the sort of thing that we should learn more about, and maybe there's a deliberate reason why we haven't. If any aliens are watching this, then I know how to get your secret out. If you give me next week's winning lottery numbers and I pick them and win, then everyone will believe us.
Is that you walk through it and you stand on that sarsen stone.
So if I walk through this tree
Stand on the stone. Yeah, and that's all the sarsen stone.
and then stand on this stone, is it 1 foot, 2 foot?
Both feet.
Both feet.
Stand there and face the church.
And face the church. Ooh, how are you meant to do it when it's so... Oh, oh. I'm having a vision.
Then you can dive into why are there yew trees? Near all ancient churches you've got a yew tree.
When we studied history at school, we did learn a little bit about Stonehenge and Avebury, and we also learnt that when Christianity came, because the stones were seen as pagan, lots of them were destroyed.
Decode, because there's a lot of information there. So video it and then take a screenshot of it, and then it talks about this is the gate. So this is William Button's tomb, the guy who was an MP and also the sheriff of this area of Wiltshire. Back in his time, he wouldn't have been able to speak his mind about things like orbs or anything weird, because that would have been seen as witchcraft and he would have been killed.
But even though the stones weren't considered Christian, somebody felt it was important enough to put a trapdoor at the floor of this church and then to bury a sarsen stone underneath. It's like a magpie's den, isn't it?
So obviously, yeah, people come in and do all sorts of weird magic stuff. It's spooky. But so this bit was originally around this way. Obviously, that was on that side. So this stone has been broken in half deliberately and deliberately cemented back together again the wrong way around. So this is ancient cement. We're going back hundreds of years. Probably, I'm guessing 15th, 16th century. There's a hole that goes through the centre, and the story is that this stone, either it came from a stone circle on this side, pre-church, there's a stone circle here, or this may have come from the long barrow that was at the top of Adam's grave, and it was broken and then put under the church. But why they decided to not destroy it completely, why they decided to cement it together the wrong way around to kind of break the spell, as it were, perhaps. Who knows? And then the theory is that this hole here was positioned at a particular point in the sky that was important. whether it's a star or who knows.
What a mystery.
And then there's another trapdoor over there somewhere. But yeah, I find that weird. This is not recent, this has been under here since the church was built.
And it seemed a really fitting way to end such a fantastic day learning about crop circles and having a drink at the Barge Inn, which was a meeting place for researchers in crop circles. I'd learnt so much, and I have a big thanks to say to Simon and to Monique for giving me a real education in crop circles. And I'd love to know if you've watched this or if you already are interested in a crop circle space, then please leave some comments and tell me, where do you think they come from? Who do you think made them? And why do you think they're there? What a day it's been. I've been to Silbury Hill, West Kennet Long Borough. I've been to the Crop Circle Museum, and I've learnt so much. Crop circles are certainly a phenomena that are hard to explain. For a long time, people have said that they were made by humans, but to be honest, based on what I've seen today, the intricate shapes, the geometrical patterns, the encoding of pi and DNA, and even the messages that are a response to Carl Sagan, even Jesus' face. There's just too much mystery there. I don't know who made them, how they were made, why they were made. I know for a fact that they weren't made by humans. So whilst I was only delving into this topic for the first time, I'm definitely going to have to go back again to explore more about crop circles, and I'm very fortunate that Wiltshire is right on my doorstep, and there's so much that links the past to the present and nature on Earth to what we experience in the skies. Are we being communicated to by otherworldly beings? Who knows? But there's certainly plenty more questions that I'm going to ask. So I appreciate you watching, and I look forward to making more content about crop circles and all the strange things that are happening in Wiltshire.